The story of the Roman Empire begins long ago, more than 2,000 years in the past, in a small settlement on the banks of the river Tiber in Italy. According to legend, the city of Rome was founded in 753 BCE by Romulus, who became its first king. The myth tells us that he and his twin brother Remus were raised by a she-wolf, a tale that echoes the wild and powerful spirit of the people who would one day rule much of the known world. At first, Rome was just a tiny kingdom, one among many in the Italian peninsula. Over time, though, its people grew stronger, and after the fall of their kings, they established a republic in 509 BCE. This Roman Republic was unique. Instead of being ruled by one man, power was shared between elected leaders called consuls and a senate made up of noble families. It was a system built on laws, debates, and compromise, though not without struggle. For hundreds of years, the Romans fought wars, expanded their territory, and built alliances. Slowly, their influence spread beyond their small city. Rome was not just a place of soldiers and politics, it was a place of builders and dreamers. They designed roads that stretched for miles, aqueducts that carried fresh water into cities, and forums that became the heart of public life. Temples rose high in honor of their gods, and the Colosseum would one day host crowds of cheering citizens. But Rome was also a society of contrasts. While noble senators lived in luxury, common people often struggled. Slavery was widespread, and unrest was frequent. Civil wars erupted as generals and politicians battled for power. One of the most famous figures of this era was Julius Caesar, a brilliant general who expanded Rome's territories and won the love of his soldiers. He declared himself dictator for life, but his ambition alarmed the Senate. In 44 BCE, he was assassinated on the Ides of March, stabbed by those who once called him a friend. The death of Caesar did not bring peace. Instead, it brought more chaos. His heir, Octavian, and his rivals fought for control until Octavian finally emerged victorious. In 27 BCE, he took the title Augustus and became Rome's first emperor. With Augustus, the Roman Empire was born. It was the beginning of an age of relative peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace, which lasted for over 2 centuries. Under the emperors, Rome grew larger than ever before. Its legions marched across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, conquering lands and bringing them under Roman rule. Britain, Egypt, Spain, and Judea all became part of the empire. At its height, Rome controlled nearly 50 million people. They built magnificent cities, spread Roman law, and connected the empire with their vast network of roads. The saying, "all roads lead to Rome," was not just a metaphor, it was reality. Life in the empire was vibrant. Markets bustled with traders selling goods from faraway lands. Citizens gathered in amphitheaters to watch gladiators fight or chariot races thunder through the Circus Maximus. Roman baths were places of both relaxation and conversation. Latin, the Roman language, spread across the empire and would one day evolve into many of the languages spoken in Europe today. Yet beneath the surface, there were always tensions. The empire was too vast to be ruled easily. Emperors came and went, some wise and capable, others cruel and incompetent. Some, like Nero and Caligula, became infamous for their excesses and madness. Others, like Marcus Aurelius, were remembered as philosopher kings, seeking wisdom and balance even as the empire strained under its own weight. Despite its grandeur, the empire faced growing problems. Corruption weakened its government, constant wars drained its resources, and invasions by barbarian tribes pressed against its borders. In 285 CE, Emperor Diocletian divided the empire into an eastern and western half, hoping it would be easier to govern. The Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, grew strong and wealthy, but the Western Roman Empire struggled. By the 5th century, the Western Empire was crumbling. Germanic tribes, including the Visigoths and Vandals, swept across Roman lands. In 410 CE, Rome itself was sacked by the Visigoths, a shocking event that symbolized the empire's decline. Finally, in 476 CE, the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustus, was deposed by a barbarian leader. The Western Roman Empire had fallen. Yet Rome never truly disappeared. In the East, the Byzantine Empire carried on Roman traditions for nearly 1,000 more years, until the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Even after its fall, the memory of Rome lived on. Its laws influenced European systems of justice. Its language, Latin, became the foundation for many modern tongues. Its architecture inspired centuries of builders, and its stories of emperors, generals, philosophers, and citizens still echo across the ages. The Roman Empire was more than a kingdom or a nation. It was a civilization that left its mark on the world in ways that continue to shape our lives today. From the myths of its founding to the glory of its emperors and the tragedy of its decline, Rome's story is one of ambition, power, brilliance, and imperfection. As you drift to sleep, imagine the streets of ancient Rome at night, the soft glow of torches flickering against stone walls, the quiet murmur of voices in the forums, and the distant sound of a legion marching along a road that truly leads to Rome. The empire may have fallen, but in memory, in history, and in the very fabric of our world, Rome still lives.